Welcome to Dodgers Daily. I'm Casey Porter. I'm so glad that you decided to tune in. Fans, we have a very busy show for you again today. Another glorious show as we have two walk-offs to talk about. Obviously, the big Max Muncy walk-off for the LA Dodgers. At the AA level, Jonny DeLuca walked off the San Antonio Missions, who are the AA affiliates of guess who? The San Diego Padres, the next opponent of the Dodgers. So, hey, it's a very, very, very busy show today. We have a lot to get to. Before we get to it, just a reminder, if you'd like to help Dodgers Daily by donating, go down to the description, click the link. It is right there for you. Just click that. It'll take you to where you need to go to help Dodgers Daily by donating. And if you like this video, go ahead and click that like button, leave a comment, tell all your friends about Dodgers Daily, and spread the word. Become a subscriber. And then after you subscribe, click that notification bell, turn on your notifications. That way, every time Dodgers Daily releases a new video, you'll be notified and you won't miss a thing. Dodgers Daily will keep growing, and we can keep providing you content and videos like this in the future, as we love to do. Okay, it was Gavinstone's Major League debut. We're going to chew on that. Max Muncy, we talk about a lot. When he hits a home run, the Dodgers just simply win. The bullpen was good. The defense was good. The base running was good. So all in all, we're going to chew on it, but you have to be satisfied if you're a Dodgers fan right now with 2-3 game sweeps in a row. You know, you're on pace to win somewhere in the mid-90s in games, so you have to be satisfied there. And then again, it was a good day in the farm system as well for the Dodgers. So a lot to talk on. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right to it, and let's talk Dodgers baseball. Okay, so the Gavin Stone start. I'm going to point blank say it right off the bat. Okay, there were a lot of positives in the sense that he got to LA, he got to taste what it's like to pitch in a major league game, and he's going to have some takeaways from this as far as, hey, what do I need to do as a pitcher to become a consistent and, excellent major league pitcher, of which I think he will be in time at the major league level. So the takeaways are going to be, hey, what do I need to do? What do I need to improve on? That the four-seam fastball today, it averaged about 93.5 miles an hour, 93.3 miles an hour. It didn't have a big whiff rate, just about 6%. Now, he did touch almost 97 with it. So I've talked about, he said almost 98 with his fastball before. But the whiff rate was not, where he would like it to be on that four-seam today. As a matter of fact, he only had a 6% whiff rate on his fastball. The pitch that got the most swing and miss today was his slider, but his slider is the pitch that he has the hardest time controlling. Matter of fact, he doesn't throw it all that much. Okay, so his changeup, he threw 33 changeups. It's one of the best changeups in the game of baseball. It had a 12% whiff rate, and he threw it in the zone more than half the time, 52% of the time. So for a pitch that's so feel heavy for a changeup, that's pretty good, 52%. And then the whiff rate again was 12%. And also, the Dodgers had beaten the Phillies 2 games in a row. Bryce Harper, he was due. The Phillies were due. So it's kind of a setup to where the Phillies aren't a bad team. They've had a record similar to the Dodgers this year, so you just kind of felt like they were due to have a good day. So from that perspective, it was kind of bad timing. Okay, so like I said, that slider for Gavin Stone was his most effective swing and miss pitch, but he only threw it 9 times, okay? And that's because he doesn't control it quite as well. It had a 75% whiff rate, so 3 out of 4 of all the sliders he threw today, got swung and missed on. But like I said, he didn't land it in the strike zone as much as he'd like to. So, hey, takeaways, the four-seam fastball, he might go, he ditched his two-seam this year, and he had some arm side movement to it. I know today's fastballs were listed as four-seams, but if you go and you look at the video, he had a lot of that arm side movement to his ball today. He throws kind of a natural two-seam, and he's always thrown a two-seam up until this year. He ditched that. He's gone more to the four-seam, but I think his fastball had some two-seam action to it today. Okay, so takeaways as far as some of the things that he probably needs to come out of this, getting better at. He needs a higher whiff rate with his four-seam fastball. It needs to be higher than 6%, and he needs to throw a slider. I think we found out today his slider is a very good pitch. It's hard to hit when he lands it in the strike zone, and at least makes it look like it's going to be a strike. So, hey, I think he needs to improve on throwing the slider for a strike more, make the force. I think that at that, if he does throw a slider more for a strike, that gives him that third pitch that a hitter has to respect and honor. And so I think that's going to in turn, it's all connected and it's all a snowball. That third pitch, I think, will make his four seam, have a higher whiff rate because hitters won't just be sitting on it. Because right now, basically, it's sit on the four seam, sit on the changeup, and then, spit on the slider. That's pretty much the game plan that the Phillies used today. And like I said, the slider, it was good. When guys swung at it, they didn't hit it very often. But again, he only threw 9, and they weren't in the strike zone a whole lot. Okay, so the fourth inning, he was 90 to 92 on his four seam. So the velo did drop a little bit. But, hey, it was a big charged environment. It's his first time Major League debut. I'm sure he had a lot of adrenaline. Now, he does have ice in his veins, and that's one of the things that I'm most impressed about with him. But having said that, a Major League debut, last year Ryan Pepio got to make his Major League debut at Pittsburgh. It was a day game. So it wasn't quite the charged environment that Gavin Stone made his in today, and especially against a team in the Phillies that was in the World Series last year. So no matter how much ice in the veins Gavin Stone had, I'm sure there was nerves. I'm sure there was a lot of adrenaline. And so by the time that he came out of the game, I'm sure just mentally and physically he was exhausted at that point. So I'm just telling you this, there's good takeaways. Of course, we all know that results matter in Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball is a game of results. So, hey, the 4 runs, hey, that's not good. The team came back and won, so that is good. And Gavin would be the first one to say that. But, okay, all in all, he got on a Major League mound. He got all those aspects of it out of the way. He knows what to expect now. He knows what he needs to work on. And I assure you, he has all of the it factors and all those things that he feels like he needs to go back and work on to become the exact pitcher he wants to be at the Major League level. He will do that, and he will get it accomplished. And I assure you, I'm going to continue to say this. Gavin Stone will be a very, very, very good Major League pitcher. Like I said, he has all the it factors. He has a good four-seam fastball, an elite changeup, and the ability to have a slider that has a lot of swing and miss to it. So Gavin Stone, all in all, I think there's some good and the bad. The best part of it is that the Dodgers came back and won the game. Second sweep in a row. Okay, so let's get to the Dodgers offense. And I just love the way that Los Angeles has been playing offense as of late. Hey, I like slugging, and I talk about this quite a bit. Don't get me wrong. Hey, one swing, one hit, one run. There's no more efficient way to score runs than that. I get it. But how about this? 9 of the 11 Dodgers that hit today, that came up to the plate to hit, 9 of the 11 had hits today. One of them was Will Smith, who drew a walk in the 9th inning. That was, one of the guys that scored with the grand slam walk-off for Max Muncy. So 9 of the 11, and then Will Smith drew the walk. That makes 10 of the 11. And then Miguel Rojas came in for Jason Hayward's spot, if you remember that, and had a big pinch hit as well. So that means that 8 out of the 9 positions in the lineup, there were 11 hitters, 9 of them got hits. There were 9 positions total that those 11 hitters came in and hit in those spots. So of the 9 positions, 8 got hits. Of the 11 hitters that actually hit in those 9 positions, 9 of them got hits. So how about that? 8 of the 9 positions got hits. 9 of the 11 hitters that were in got hits as well. So I hope I explained that as where you could actually understand that. But hey, that is, you talk about a team offense, spreading the wealth, everybody getting involved, everybody feeling good about it. And because of that, again, you're more consistent in the amount of innings that you scored in. And, so good offense. I love the way the Dodgers are playing. And this has kind of been the trend over these last 6 games where the Dodgers have swept these 2 series where, multiple people get hits. You score in a bunch of different innings. And, so you're playing way more team offense. So good as far as the offense goes. Very good signs there, and I think that's a big reason why you've won 6 in a row heading into the San Diego series. Okay, the 3rd inning, you had 2 singles by David Peralta, Mookie Betts, and then the 4th inning, James Outman had a double. Miguel Vargas hit the home run. It seems like James Outman and Miguel Vargas, when one gets a hit, the other one does as well. Imagine that, 2 rookies who have played together so much, feeding off of each other. They're a comfort zone for each other in the dugout. So when one sees the other does it, out on the field, it probably motivates them and settles them down and comforts them as well. So it seems like James Outman and Miguel Vargas, they go in tandem. Okay, 7th inning, Chris Taylor had a triple. Chris Taylor had another good day. Freddie Freeman, a sac fly. Okay, so that's really good offense right there. You're looking at Peralta, Betts, Outman, Vargas, Taylor, Freeman. There's 6 guys right there that have contributed to your offense. Then the 8th inning, Rojas had a single. James Outman had another double. Vargas had a stolen base. How about that? We're going to get into the stolen base numbers here in a minute. And then Austin Barnes had the RBI single. Okay, so add another guy to the mix that is, part of the team offense at that point. And then the 9th inning, Chris Taylor had a single. Okay, then he stole another base, and then there's an intentional walk to Freddie Freeman. Smith had a walk, and then kapow. All right, Max Muncy, when he hits home runs, the Dodgers win. Simply put, they win over 90% of the games that he hits home runs in the last couple of years. I don't know. I know the exact stats. I have not looked them up today. I do have them on one of my past shows, but I do know it's over 90% of the time in the last year and a half or so that when Max Muncy hits a home run, the Dodgers win the game. So the offense was fantastic. Let me say it one more time. Of the 9 offensive batting order positions, 8 of those positions had at least one hit. And then of the 11 players that hit today, 9 of them had hits as well. So, hey, what a great team offensive game it was. And then obviously when you have the comeback, that's exciting as well. Pitching. Okay, one aspect, whenever you have walk-offs and you have comebacks, the guy who hits the walk-off or the offensive guys that get the hits, they tend to get all the credit. Do not forget that when you have comebacks like this, it's usually because your bullpen stabilized the game, threw up a whole bunch of zeros, and just threw the momentum back into your lap and gave the offense time to catch up and the ability to not be buried to the point where you can't catch up. And that's exactly what happened today. Only the single run by Brusdar Graterol in the 9th inning today. That's the only run that the bullpen gave up. So the bullpen stabilized the game. So when you look at the formula, you talk about the process. Obviously, like I said earlier, the major leagues is a game of results. But, hey, how about the process? Okay, you're playing team baseball. Your bullpen is keeping the other team from scoring late in games. And then you yourself are scoring late in games as well. The Dodgers have been a good team as far as scoring late in games. They've been pretty mediocre as far as allowing other teams scoring in the last 4 innings. That flipped today. The Dodgers. So whenever you play good team offense and you score in multiple innings, you have 8 of your 9 positions getting hits, and then your bullpen does not allow the other team to score but 1 run in the last 4 innings, and then you score for yourself. That is a formula for winning, and winning all kinds of games and in all different kinds of ways. Close games, blowouts, 1-run games, slugfest, pitching duels. Doesn't matter if you're able to stabilize the game with your bullpen and score late and then spread the offense around and score in multiple innings and by multiple people doing it. Okay, it just makes you so balanced that you're so difficult to defend that, you're just constantly putting pressure on the other team, and eventually the more pressure you put on a team, the more likely they are to break at some point. Even professionals. I talked about that yesterday. Okay, so how about the defense? Okay, you had the early error by Max Muncy. That really hurt because Gavinstone being a rookie, you needed that play to be made. But, okay, Max Muncy ended up coming back like great players do. When they make an error, they make a mistake, they usually do something later in the game to make up for it. I would say that Max Muncy certainly did that, plus some. So as far as the error goes, Max Muncy made up for that. Base running. Okay, the Dodgers had 3 stolen bases today. They got caught once, so they were 3 out of 4. And the Phillies, they did not steal a base. So the Dodgers were +3 in the stolen base category. And if the Dodgers just aren't terrible, hey, maybe they're -1, even -2, something like that on average, somewhere in that general vicinity throughout games, they're going to slug well enough and score runs well enough to be able to make up for that. They just can't be -4, -5, -6. So really all the Dodgers need are a couple, maybe 2, maybe 3 stolen bases a game. That's all they need just to be average in that category. And if they're just average in that category, then the offense is going to be good. And that's going to, because the slugging is going to make up for the rest. Okay, so Overall thoughts for today's game, I thought it was good that Gavin Stone got to LA. He got on the Major League mound. He has a lot of takeaways coming out of this. I assure you, like I said, he has all the it factors. Whatever the things that went on today that caused the 4 runs, we talked about the 4-seam being hittable today. We talked about the slider not landing in the strike zone. He will take those away. I'm going to say it one more time. He will get all those things worked out because this dude has elite work ethic. He is an elite teammate. He's an elite human being, and he is an elite competitor, and he's very, very talented. And so, like I said, the takeaways will get taken care of. So, all in all, hey, the Dodgers won. Gavin Stone made his Major League debut. The Dodgers have won 6 in a row, and here come the San Diego Padres. So, why not be totally excited about just everything that happened today? And, hey, I'll tell you one more thing. Major League debuts don't happen every day. It's something that nobody can ever take away from you. So that's a memory that Gavin Stone and his family will have forever. So, hey, all in all, it was a very, very, very successful day if you're a Los Angeles Dodgers fan. So, hey, let's get going. Let's get excited, and let's get ready for that San Diego Padres series over the weekend. Okay, that concludes our talk about the Los Angeles Dodgers. Let's now move our attention to the minor leagues and the Dodgers system. So let's not waste any more time, and let's take a trip down on the farm. AAA Oklahoma City is the only team in the organization that did not win their game last night. They lost 5-3 to the El Paso Chihuahuas, the AA affiliates of the San Diego Padres. Oklahoma City, all they could muster was a 2 spot in the 5th and then 1 in the 7th, and they lost 5-3. Who you're seeing right here is Yonny Hernandez, who had a 2 RBI double for AAA Oklahoma City, and he had 3 RBIs in the night. So a big night for Yonny Hernandez and a big year so far for him. He's hitting .347 for the entire season, .951 OPS, and he has a hit in both games in this series with El Paso. So Yonny Hernandez, he is having a really good year in AAA Oklahoma City. Jahmai Jones had 2 hits for AAA Oklahoma City, and he moved his average to .253 on the year, OPS .847. If you remember, he was really hot to start the season, playing really good baseball, lots of energy, lots of fun to watch. So Jahmai Jones had a good night for AAA Oklahoma City. It's the craziest thing. It just doesn't seem like Devin Mann can get a hit unless it's a double. As a matter of fact, in all of his hits in his last 4 games, he has hits in 3 of his last 4 games. Every single one of those hits has been a double, and he leads the Pacific Coast League in doubles with 16, and he leads it by quite a bit. It's just kind of a crazy thing that it just seems like every time Devin Mann hits a baseball, it goes for a double. So again, Devin Mann leads the PCL with doubles. He hit his 16th double tonight. Boy, Mark Washington was really, really good. And I'll tell you what, 6'7" out of Lehigh, when he's landing at least 2 pitches in the zone, he has the 4-seam fastball, the slider, and the change. Tonight, the secondary was the slider that he was landing. Matter of fact, he landed a slider at an 80% clip, and when Mark Washington can land at least 2 pitches in the strike zone, it is going to be a tough night for the hitter. There is that slider right there, and it was tonight for El Paso as Mark Washington cruised through his 1 inning. He had 97 with his 4-seam fastball, cruising on his way to a scoreless outing tonight for AAA Oklahoma City. So Nick Nastrini had the full mix working today, man. His changeup was really, really good. Look at that changeup right there. See how it tumbled? Man, there's slow motion. Look how that just tumbles, and it just leaves the hitters frozen right there. His slider was very good. Look at that 4-seam boring in on the hands. And so, he really had the San Antonio missions. There's that slider right there. Really baffled today. Nastrini went 5 innings. He gave up just 1 run on just 1 hit. Nastrini's ERA on the year is down to 2.25. There's that slider right there. Really good pitch. His whip is just .092, and his average against is .159. So Nick Nastrini, very top prospect in the Dodgers organization. There's another good slider right there. Not the best one he's ever thrown in his life, but good enough to get away with it. Nick Nastrini had a good day for the Tulsa Drillers. Riverryan went 3 innings. He gave up just 1 run, just 1 hit, and had 4 strikeouts and no walks. Ryan has been absolutely dominant so far this year. His ERA is 1.65, his WHIP is 1.16, and his average against is just 200. And also riverryan, the young man out of UNC Pembroke, who was a 2A star there. He actually was an offensive player for the Padres before the Dodgers traded for him. If you remember, the Dodgers traded Matt Beatty away to the Padres, who is still in the minor leagues. I got to see him in Oklahoma City playing for the Sacramento River Cats the other day. So Matt Beatty's still in AAA, whereas Riverryan is in AA right now. At the time, it looked like, hey, you're trading this guy that's in high A for a straight up for a major leaguer. So it looked like the Dodgers were like, hey, what are you doing there? Lo and behold, they knew what they were doing once again, as I would have to say squarely the Dodgers so far have won that trade, no doubt about it. Okay, so average against for Riverryan, just 200. And check this out. So far on the year, he has 19 strikeouts in 16 innings. Okay, so far today, or not so far today, the Drillers starting Nick Nastrini and then bringing in Riverryan and then Tanner Dodson, who we're going to talk about next. They threw close to 300 miles an hour worth of pitching. This Driller staff has some serious power arms. Here is Tanner Dodson. He continued his great work so far this season. He threw up a 0 in the top of the 9th. And I talked about this with the Dodgers game. We saw it in the LA game. The comebacks, I'm just telling you, they are always set up by a bullpen that stabilizes the game. And so don't forget about the work the bullpen did, putting up zeros that kept the other team where they're at, that kept the offense from getting buried so much where they couldn't come back. So if your bullpen doesn't put up zeros, the comeback never happens. That happened today again for the Drillers with Tanner Dodson. Riverryan did a great job, and then Nick Nastrini, too, being the starter, did a great job of stabilizing the game, keeping San Antonio within arm's length so the offense could come back and have the walk-off that we just saw just a minute ago. Hey, boy, Tanner Dodson, he has been just fantastic for Tulsa this year. His ERA is just 1.5, and his average against is 2.05. So the 2A star out of Cali, it's a 2A star type of day. We talked about Jonny DeLuca being the switch hitter out of Oregon, Riverryan being a 2A star out of UNC Pembroke, Tanner Dodson was a 2A star at the University of California. It's the 2A star day today because they were all good. Tanner Dodson slammed the door on the missions. This isn't Driller-oriented or even Dodger-oriented anymore, but I wanted to throw this in here because this is one of my favorite young players I ever got to cover. I got to actually interview him last year when he was with the AA Tulsa Drillers. Guillermo Zuniga, congratulations, young man. He is out of, the young man out of Cartagena, Colombia. He is just one of the kindest and nicest young men I have ever met in my life, and he was hitting 101. He just saw him strike out Mike Trout in his Major League debut last night, so congratulations. Guillermo Zuniga, very well deserved. The Dodgers let him go in free agency over, he was eligible to become a free agent last year. The Dodgers did not sign him. They let him get away to the Cardinals. The Cardinals signed him, and now we saw him in the World Baseball Classic for Colombia do a really good job. We saw the one-on-one fastball then. We saw it again last night, and we saw him strike out Mike Trout. So congratulations, Guillermo Zuniga. He still has that big slider. Also, you're looking at a picture of James Outman. I wanted to say congratulations to him. Super excited for James Outman that he was the in-out rookie of the month. Certainly not surprised if you follow Dodgers Daily. I think you know how high I am on James Outman. I've talked about it several different times. I also went on Dodgers Nation and talked to D-Mac the other day about James Outman and some of the reasons why, as he put it, I've been so bullish on how good he is. This dude, just like we talked about Gavin Stone, he has all of the it factors. He has every single it factor that's ever been invented. Plus, he is very talented, so congratulations, James Outman, National League Rookie of the Month. The Great Lakes Loons are kind of like an anaconda snake. It just seems like the later the game goes on, the more and more they squeeze their opponent until eventually their opponent runs out of oxygen, and then away they go. That's just kind of how the Great Lakes Loons have won games this year. They've just kind of waited around and been in games, and then, boom, they score 4 or 5 runs in the last couple of innings, and then they win the game. That's, pretty typical of what they did today. Of course, they scored 2 in the second. They scored 1 in the fourth. It was a 3-2 game going into the fifth inning before they hung up another crooked number in the fifth, the seventh, and the eighth. So they scored 6 runs in 3 innings between the fifth, seventh, and eighth, and they won 9-2. Justin Wrobleski, Robo, the young man out of Oklahoma State University that I got to see so much while he was a Cowboy there, he got the start. Hey, you know, there's some good and some bad to Justin right now, which is to be totally expected. You know, the command isn't exactly where he wants to be, certainly at times, and of course, anytime you're coming off of Tommy John like he is, that's just simply the case. He's just trying to grind through performances right now to get all of his feels back, and I promise you, once that happens, you know, he was 95, 96 already today, so that's going to continue to grow the further away he gets from Tommy John. The command is going to get better, and he just absolutely grinded today through 2 2/3 innings. He gave up 3 hits, and like I said, the command wasn't great. He did walk 5 guys, didn't strike anybody out, so the peripherals didn't look great today. That goes to show you right there the kind of grinder that Justin Wrobleski is, because hey, you know what for management and for managers and those kinds of things, they want to see how pitchers perform when they're not at their best. I think it's safe to say that Robo was not at his best. I'm going to watch that again. Not at his best today in terms of command, and he just absolutely grinded through it and figured out a way to get through 2 2/3 innings with only giving up 1 run on the afternoon. So all in all, hey, and it's another performance removed from the Tommy John. All in all, it's a good thing for Justin Wrobleski. Boy, Mitchell Tyranski continues to do a good job for the Great Lakes Loons. He is the one in this game that gave the most amount of length as far as a pitcher, and stabilized it for the most part. Not the most amount of length, but he did come in the bullpen and give 2 innings. And when your starter only goes 2 2/3, you need a bullpen guy to go multiple innings. And for a guy like Tyranski, who's coming off of his injuries himself, that was a big deal for the Great Lakes Loons today. And it's also a big deal that he also gave up no runs and no hits. He's very tough to hit, especially when he's in the strike zone. And he had 3 strikeouts. So today was a fantastic performance for the left-hander Mitchell Tyranski. Tyranski's ERA is down to 2.35, and its average against is just 0.56. So good job, Mitchell Tyranski. You know, Jake Vogel's been one of the higher thought of prospects in the organization because of his speed and his ability to eventually be able to hit at some point. He's had, I'm going to, not sugarcoat it, he's had a slow start to his career in the Dodgers organization on the offensive side. Okay, but I'll tell you what, he's starting to turn a corner. He had a 3-hit day today for Great Lakes. He also had 3 RBIs, and he was on base 4 times. And this is 3 multi-hit games for the young Huntington Beach, California native Jake Vogel. 3 multi-hit games in his last 4, and he's 7 for his last 12. So Jake Vogel, hey man, he's starting to turn a corner with high A Great Lakes. Austin Gauthier, my goodness, he is just absolutely unconscious. He had his second consecutive 3-hit game. 3-hit games, 2 of them in a row for the Loons. He has 5 multi-hit games in his last 7 he's played, and he has 15 for his last 27. Wow. He's hitting .431 on the year. His OPS is 1134. You can't do much better than what Austin Gauthier has done so far. And just like the hit you saw right here, it's because he stays inside the ball so well and just shoots that thing the other way. You can't jam him because he's so great at pulling his hands inside the ball. That is a skill that is so tough to teach young hitters, to pull the hands inside the ball, think the other way with it, hit the inside of the ball like Gauthier did here, because when you can do that, you can cover the entire part of the plate from east to west. So whether you go outside, whether you go inside, it doesn't matter. You can still barrel the ball, and that's why Gauthier is one of the reasons why he is so hot to start 2023. The Rancho Summary scored 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 8th, and they held on to beat the Lake Elsinore Storm 4-3. Boy, Madison Jeffrey, he was absolutely hot tonight in the bottom of the 9th inning. We're going to get to that here in just a minute. A lot of fun in this game. Chris Newell, first of all, we're going to start with him. He extended his hit streak to 8 games with this ringing double to the opposite field. Watch this thing slam off this left center field wall. That is some power right there. I'm just telling you, Chris Newell, his hit tool is legit. I love watching him hit. He hits to all fields. He's so balanced. He's so quiet. And just everything looks so simple simple when he swings the bat. So Chris Newell again extended his hit streak to 8 games. Well, I told you there was a lot of fun in this game tonight for Rancho Cucamonga. Watch this. Gets by the center fielder. Nick Biddison hit this, and it is absolutely off the races. That's John Shoemaker. You saw it for Rancho. He has been the manager there for a long time. Here comes Big Nick, right there, the young man out of Virginia Tech with the inside the park home run. How about that? Inside the park home run for Nick Biddison. Well, I told you Madison Jeffrey was pretty dirty tonight. Look at that slider. Wow, right there. The hitter obviously offered after it because he thought it was going to be a strike, and it actually ended up going to the screen. Look at that slider. That is just absolutely dirty. That's Jose Izada who made that play. Madison Jeffrey, his first pitch of this inning. Look at that slider right there and the depth on it. First pitch was 98, pairing it with that slider that you've seen here in those last couple of pitches. 12 pitches later, 13 in total. The game was absolutely over. So the first pitch was 98. 12 pitches later, it was good afternoon, good day, and good night for Lake Elsinore as Madison Jeffrey got the save. Just 13 pitches. 9 were strikes. That's always the big thing for Madison Jeffrey. We know he has the big fastball. We know he has the gross curveball that you've seen here. It's just a matter of if he can keep it all. Look at the depth on that pitch. That was a strike. I don't care what the umpire said. That's just a ridiculous pitch. So, hey, just keep it in the strike zone. When he does that, boy, look at that four seam. He's fired up. I love the dog mentality that he has. Let me click watch again here so we can go through this again. I love that dog mentality and just the super amount of energy, competitive vibes that he brings to the mound. So, hey, just throw strikes, get it in the zone, and guys at that level are not going to be able to hit him. Madison Jeffrey with big stuff. So there you have it. There's our show for you today. Gavin Stone made his debut. The Dodgers came back and had a big walk-off. Double-A Tulsa, they had a walk-off as well. Austin Gauthier, he stays hot. The Great Lakes Loons, like I said, they're like that anaconda snake. They just squeeze the life out of their opponent. So it was another good day in the system for the Dodgers. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's show, and I hope you tune in to tomorrow's show as well. Before we get out of here, one last reminder, if you'd like to help Dodgers Daily by donating, hey, go down in the description and click the link. That's all you got to do. It'll be right there to donate to Dodgers Daily if you would like to help in that way. Also, if you like this video and if you like this kind of content, go ahead and click that like button, leave a comment, tell all your friends about Dodgers Daily, become a subscriber. After you subscribe, click that notification bell, turn on your notifications. That way, every time Dodgers Daily releases a new video, you'll be notified. You won't miss a thing, and Dodgers Daily will keep growing. And when Dodgers Daily keeps growing, we can keep doing what we'd love to do, which is providing videos like this in the future. Okay, I want to say thank you for tuning in, and as always, go Dodgers!